What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode 22 of Two Guys, One Court. Once again, my name is Zach Goldstein.
And my name is Braylon Zhang.
And we have a lot to get into this episode, but firstly, we're going to briefly talk about our merchandise store. And we have a couple updates with our shirts.
Our shirts come in any color you want now.
Yeah, you can honestly, I know on the store it says, like, it's basically only an ivory.
Yeah, but we're going to be releasing new colorways.
Yeah.
And there's like 48 colors you can choose from. Amazing variety.
Yes, it's only $25, 100% cotton, great quality. If you want to buy one, the website's not totally working right now, but if you want to look on the website just to see what it looks like, see pictures, see how different colorways look like, but you can just DM us on Instagram and just tell us what you want, and we'll figure out a payment. We could just use Venmo, stuff like that, and then we'll get that shipped to you very promptly. And we've done it. We've done it to a lot of people so far. They've enjoyed it. We're going to start posting on our Instagram of people who are wearing the shirts, but it's going great, and please check it out. If not buy it, just check out the link to the store and check out our designs. We
also have hats coming out right here.
Yes, we're gonna
similar
start designing
to the one
hats
that we have right here. It's gonna have side printing as well.
Besides the Paul and Riley, we're gonna take that off, but it's basically gonna look kind of the same kind of logo as the shirt. It's gonna look very good. And then you can get that in any color that you want, but I'm sure most people will get it in black. But make sure to check that out, and also make sure to like, follow, subscribe, do that all those stuff on all our social media platforms at Two Guys One Court. And another shout out to our sponsor, Product.co, for all your social media marketing needs. Okay, that was perfect. Yeah, make sure to check that out, Product.co on Instagram, and make sure to check out their website for a consultation meeting. So to get straight into this episode,
we have a lot of NBA news that
lots of
historic records.
Lots of records that were truly unexpected.
Yeah, we got a couple star players back at it. Brand new haircuts.
We have some LeBron news, but his kid kind of took the spotlight for these past couple days. Then we're going to go into the men's Final Four and the women's Final Four. We're recording this on Saturday, so the women's Final Four took place yesterday. But the men's is going to take place tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
We're also going to be flying to Arizona for some games.
For some games.
Tomorrow.
Yes. It's going to be really good. We'll update you guys, do all that stuff.
Take pictures.
That's another reason to follow us, all that stuff.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram for all those pictures.
At Two Guys One Court. But our first news of the day is this kind of, when did this happen? A couple days ago?
A couple days ago, yeah.
But Bronny has done two things
I think that happened
recently.
Yesterday.
Mr. Bronny James
has entered the NBA draft.
Has declared for the NBA draft, he's at the same time he's entering the transfer portal.
Honestly, this isn't like that big of a surprise to me that he's entering the draft. I doubt that he's not going to get picked just solely of the fact that he's LeBron's son.
Yes, but there is some speculation, and I want you guys to understand that if somebody like what Bronny's doing right now, all we know for certain is that there's a larger chance that he's not going to be at USC next year. We think that he's probably going to go
to a college,
a different school.
Yeah, where his
not
minutes
the NBA.
Aren't limited.
Yeah,
and he can actually perform, show us how good he actually is, because his minutes are pretty limited at USC.
Yeah,
he didn't have that much playing time, which is why his stats are so low.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I don't think he should go to like a big school like Duke,
I think he should
UNC,
go to a
Kentucky.
I think he should go to a small school where he'll actually get his recognition, be the starting point guard for the school.
Because he needs time to develop, and he needs time to get as many reps as he can, and not play for like a couple minutes and get like 4 points.
Yeah.
But he could go to Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Ohio State would be very.
They have a bad basketball team, so. He'll get a lot of reps
If he can carry the team to a good seed, he'll definitely make the NBA.
Yeah.
If he can show us how good he is on a team where they're not really good, they can skyrocket to the next level with Bronny James on the team. I think that'll be great for NBA scouts and potential NBA teams.
And there is a lot of speculation going around why he tries to declare for the draft and all that stuff.
I mean, I think it's because
LeBron
really wants him. I think it's because LeBron really wants him to play with him. But also, if he isn't getting drafted, then he can go to college, enter the draft again.
Yeah. Honestly, if he declared for the draft, it could mean that LeBron is kind of declining.
Yeah.
He could be declining. He could have just called up Bronny at UNC or USC and said, "Hey, I don't have a lot left.
I only have
I want to play
2
with you
years.
soon.
I want to play with you for at least a season
We need to hurry this up
before
right
my
now.
legs deteriorate."
Yeah, but I truly think it's just to keep his options open, and I'm certain that he won't.
I'm certain that he's gonna go somewhere else.
He's gonna go to a different school. He's not gonna go to an NBA team.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I think the highest he could be is a top 20 pick.
No, I don't.
No,
think
but
he gets
if
top 20.
LeBron's related to him,
Okay,
if LeBron can move to wherever Bronny goes, I think a team would take that risk.
I guess so. Yeah, but I guess your team would just be known for having the Jameses,
Yeah,
and
the James
it'll
brothers.
only last a couple of years before LeBron
Before
retires.
LeBron's retired, and then Bronny probably won't succeed much in the NBA after just this one year
And
of
we
college.
hate to say that, but it's probably going to be true.
He's a good player, but he needs a lot of development to happen before he can enter the league. Average 15 points in his rookie year.
Yeah,
something.
that's difficult to do. But it's a package deal. You get both of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
you
any
get the
team would
old
want
James
that.
and you get the young James.
Yeah. Then another big thing that happened, probably another very much the most unexpected thing that happened in the NBA in the past week.
Yes.
Malachi Flynn. Who
dropped-
knows who he is? Do you know who Malachi Flynn is?
Didn't
before
know
this?
him until
I had no
his
idea.
50-point game with 72% from the field.
And if you're wondering
Off
why,
the bench.
off the bench, and if you're wondering why you don't know who he is,
It's
and
because
why he's
a
on the
bench player.
And
That's exactly
not
why
only
you don't know
he's
who
a bench
he is.
player, he's on the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
He is on the
Detroit
most
Pistons-
impoverished franchise
The
ever.
Pistons get recognition for being the worst team in the league.
Exactly.
Not for having good players.
Not for having good players. And this is honestly unheard of. We saw it with Jamal Crawford in 2019,
and
Nick Anderson, 1993.
Third person to ever do it
Yeah,
off the bench.
that's pretty
in
crazy,
history.
though. The craziest part, 50-point, we're seeing that consistently in the NBA.
Yeah.
Not off a bench player, but the 72% from the field is
Yeah, we're
honestly
seeing-
what caught my eye.
We're seeing 50 points from stars, Luka Doncic.
Yeah, who are
Jason
shooting like
Tatum.
48%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's 72% from the field.
Yeah. And
That's
then
that's just straight buckets.
and then the next night he scores 6 points.
Wow.
It's just these little blurps can happen.
I
to
think he
anybody,
should have
really.
gotten PED tested.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Damian
Something
Lillard
definitely
after that
happened. He
71
definitely
point game.
Yeah, he definitely took something to do
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
But it was a great game.
He's like, I'm just, a little bit can't hurt me.
Yeah,
And then he drops
Right.
50 points.
50 points.
Next game he dropped 6 points. I guess that the doping must have worn off in
It did
24
yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. But a good performance by him. The last ray of sunshine to hit that cloudy city of Detroit
Yeah.
before the season's over, because they're not going to
They're
make the
just going to
playoffs.
be experiencing
Yes.
rain all over, just like we are right now.
Yes, it's been rough.
Been
recently,
pretty rainy.
Yeah. But on the positive side, but not really also on the positive side, we had Joel Embiid's return
With a brand new haircut.
with cornrows.
With cornrows.
With cornrows.
Yes, he thinks he's Allen Iverson.
He does. Played for the same team,
nice.
so they can
They're-
do that.
They're pretty nice.
They're nice, yeah. If you guys don't recall, he
He tore his meniscus back a couple months ago.
I did not know that. I just knew he got injured. But that was a couple months ago, and the new rule was put in place where if you miss a set amount of games,
it's extremely
can't be the
sad
MVP.
because he was definitely the clear front runner for the MVP. He was averaging 35 points and 12 rebounds and I think five or 6 assists.
Yeah, he
before
was
got
playing great.
injured. He was clearly the best player in the league.
if he kept that up, he would
have
won
definitely
that
two-time
MVP.
the MVP.
Yeah.
100%.
But now he can. But the best he could do is move up his team and try his best to progress in the playoffs. They're in playoff contention. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sixers
I
are.
mean,
a pretty good team.
I think they can do really good with the little games left in the season because when Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are playing together, they have the highest win percentage in the league, higher than the 79% Celtics.
Yeah, which is really surprising.
That's really good.
And
but
that's
they just haven't been playing many games together because of the injuries and whatnot.
And that's really good for the 76ers because there's absolutely no competition in the East. There's zero competition in the East.
They have really good players, but their teams aren't as strong.
I think there's like an 11 game differential between the first place team and the last place or the like the 10th place team in the West.
Yeah.
And there's an 11-game differential between the first and second seed in the East.
Yeah, it's
so
because
there's disparity there.
Every other team in the East is like here. Then the Celtics and the Bucks are like
are in the clouds.
Yeah. They're high.
Yeah. But that's what we're seeing right now. And honestly, a pretty negative thing also came out. A story has been released I think last week, about not only the physical struggles that Joel Embiid has been dealing with, but his
mental
struggles too. Yeah, he's been struggling mentally.
Mental pain is just as painful as physical pain.
What a great way to put it.
What a deep
analysis. That was great. But what's not great is his mental condition. Right now. We know what an injury does to a person.
We saw John Wall get injured. He was suicidal at that point, but I'm extremely glad that he got over that hump.
Yeah,
especially because he has kids, he has a family, and everybody loves John Wall.
But it's really rough what these players have to go through because you work for years and years and years, decades.
Even like the slander on social media has been ruining people's careers. We saw that with Ben Simmons. He's been playing terrible after everybody's been making fun of him.
We know Kyrie Irving and Draymond Green have spoken out about mental health issues, and it's a really important
mental health is a really underrated aspect of being a professional sports player.
Yeah, it's completely overlooked because you think of these players as just a set of numbers. You think of them as how many wins you can get from them.
Yeah, you don't think of them as actual. They're like machines that you use to win titles.
Great way of putting it.
It is a great way of putting it.
I love it. Yeah, but it's just terrible as a player to work all this time, to put all these hours in, to work for years and years and years, and try your best. And they've only made it to the Eastern Conference Finals one time.
Once.
And they're playing so great this season. He was having another MVP season, and then you get hurt, and now you can't play. You're sitting on the couch. You can't even do anything, and obviously your mental health is gonna spiral from that. It's very rough what these players have to deal with. And it's honestly deteriorating to deal with that.
Yeah, I really hope he gets better with that. But also, I really hope that injury didn't affect him that much.
But it seems like it has, and it's great that he spoke out about it because it's a really.
I think it's better for him to get it out to the public so everybody can know than bottle it up and have just people be super insensitive towards him.
Yeah, and it'll hopefully lead to a better kind of more safe space for players. In different leagues and different sports to open up about their mental health issues because that's a really important part of the game and a really important part of you.
It can really affect how you play and just how you are.
But on a different note, we have
a really good light. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama almost dropped a quadruple double.
And we've seen this with Russell Westbrook, maybe Harden, but this is a new type of person.
Wemby's a rookie.
He's a
rookie that's 7'4" tall.
We don't see this.
We've never seen this.
We don't see this. He's an alien.
Yeah, he's the best rookie since he's the best rookie since LeBron.
This is a crazy stat line. He dropped 23 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, and 9 blocks.
Yeah.
He was two two assists away and one more block away from getting a quadruple double.
Yeah.
We rarely see quadruple doubles. I'm sure only
we've
Will
seen
got them.
four with David Thompson, David Robinson, Nate Thurmond, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, but this is insane, and he's a rookie. He's 20 years old, 19 years old.
15 years left in him.
Yeah, we'll definitely see some for him in the future.
I mean, I think
this man is an alien.
I think he's having one of the best rookie seasons of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
he's a little inconsistent.
Yeah, he is, but his insane amount of numbers he's putting up. I think the only negative part to that argument is how bad his team's record is, which I'm not gonna ignore because
that dragged you
it
down
is
as a
really
player.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think Wilt and Kareem, LeBron probably had better rookie seasons than him, just of how good they were back in their day.
Yeah, but
and especially how they've led their team to a lot of wins. Like we saw how bad the Cavs were. LeBron made them much better.
Put them on his back, yeah.
Yeah, but Wembanyama, the Spurs have had a worse season this year than last year.
Another thing that happened, honestly, I still think he's gonna easily take the rookie of the year over Chet, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And I know we said the complete opposite in the summer, but it's fair to accept that that's gonna be the future, and that's gonna happen from now on. then another thing that's happening right now, we have a great season, a very overlooked season.
Yeah.
From Kevin Durant. He's playing amazing. The
playing-
Suns are doing great.
The Suns are pretty mid this year.
Pretty mid. Didn't expect
I mean,
that.
I thought they'd be really good after they got Beal, but I guess that team's just falling apart.
Yeah. But he's averaging better stat line with his points percentage, field goal percentage,
3-point
rebounds,
percentage,
everything.
Yeah. After his Achilles.
After his
injury.
Achilles tear in 2019.
I mean, I think lots of that has to do to the scoring inflation, stats inflation
definitely,
over the past couple years. But I just think that's really good. I
Yeah,
mean,
but give praise to him, you know? Yeah.
amazing props to him because nobody has recovered after an Achilles tear. I mean,
Yeah,
after
definitely.
Kobe tore his Achilles, his points went down by like 10 whole points per game.
Yeah.
His minutes were restricted. An Achilles tear is basically a career-ending injury. And I think it's amazing that KD was able to recover fast, effectively, and play even better than before.
Yeah, and the Suns aren't bad. They'd be good in the East right now.
They'd be insane in the East.
It's just the West is so competitive right now. They're better. They're more competitive.
They're better. They're harder.
Yeah, it's so much more important to get wins in the West and compared to the East because you're kind of stuck where you are in the East. But the West, anything can change. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it's just all the standings are so tight together.
But we're kind of when does the season officially end? Right in a couple weeks.
Soon, yeah.
Pretty soon. But we're in the late 70s with the amount of games played. There's 82 in a season. We're in the late 70s right now. So we have a couple games left for each teams. I think the Celtics are obvious front runners in the East.
Yeah,
and then
I think there's not a clear front runner in the West. I think the clear front runner in the West for the playoffs is gonna be the Nuggets.
Yeah, Nuggets.
Followed by the Clippers.
And then OKC.
Maybe I don't think OKC and Timberwolves are gonna do well in the playoffs just because how little experience they have.
I think the Timberwolves.
Can do better. Yeah, definitely. Because if they have veterans like Gobert, they have players like Cat who've been playing for a while.
Yeah.
But the Thunder are just completely new to the playoffs. I don't think
it's a really young team.
Most of their team has been in the playoffs before. So.
Yeah, but we'll make sure to take a look at that. That's gonna happen pretty soon. We'll get you a look at the playoffs. We'll look at that bracket. But now we're gonna go to a different bracket now, which is coming to an end.
Bracket.
It's April, but we're still in March Madness.
April Madness.
April finals. But like we said at the beginning of the podcast, the Final Four for the men's is taking place today, Saturday evening, and then the Final Four for the women's was yesterday.
I mean,
we're gonna get into that right now.
Yeah, our Elite Eight predictions weren't there, but our finals predictions still stand.
Oh god, we had
Purdue.
Terrible predictions.
Yeah,
I think
our Sweet 16 wasn't bad, but our Elite Eight was like pretty horrible.
Yeah, we probably guessed a quarter of the games correctly.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as we get the finals right,
that just shows what can happen. I'm sure we'll get the finals right.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're gonna take a look at it. So our first game tonight. At about 6:10 is number 11 NC State versus number 1 Purdue.
I think we know the.
I think our first thoughts are going to be the MJ Burns versus Zach Edey comparison.
Yeah. Zach
Edey, just like me, just like Zach Goldstein. But firstly, I think, let's be honest, Purdue's
going to win.
Purdue's going to win. The Cinderella story is kind of over.
I'll eat a sock if NC State wins.
I'm going to hold you to that. We're going to record that. We'll put that on.
Yeah, we're totally going to do that.
Listen, I am a fan of MJ Burns. He's a 6'9", 300-pound
like
beast.
MJ.
Okay? But Zach Edey is a different animal. And he might not be great in the NBA, but he'll be phenomenal in this game.
Zach Edey is a 7'4", 300-pound beast.
Exactly, yes. And he can move a lot faster than MJ Burns.
Zach Edey is really reliant on good guards, which we'll definitely be seeing with the finals.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Purdue locks in that final spot. Hopefully, our prediction's right.
Imagine the upset. That could happen.
But we all know that that UConn is going to be in the finals. Yeah. We've said this. We're from Connecticut. A little bit of a bias.
15% bias, then
but
15% bias, then 85% fast.
Yeah, but we've been saying this for the past 2 weeks. Yeah. For the past episodes.
UConn's going to win back to back.
They're playing number 4 Alabama.
Yeah, and
But Alabama snuck their way through.
Yeah, they did. They did sneak their way through.
And
But I don't think
they played a
the
number
Crimson
6
Tide has anything against the Huskies.
They're a good team, but they played a number 6 Clemson team to get to the Final Four.
And Clemson already pulled an upset that you didn't think would happen.
I didn't think would happen.
I thought would happen.
I didn't think would happen. But yeah, and that's why you should get an analyst job at ESPN. Because you had one game correctly. I think that says for itself. But we do think that
better than
UConn's
Kendrick Perkins.
Better than Kendrick Perkins. Shout out to him. Not really though.
Not really though.
No, not at all. But I think we're gonna have a 1 seed Purdue versus a 1 seed UConn. Yeah. And if you think we're gonna choose Purdue in the finals, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Stop listening, or don't keep listening.
Boilermakers, you're getting boiled.
You're getting boiled. UConn, we're going back to back.
Yeah, we are going back to back.
We have been the most dominant team for the past 2 years.
Yeah, for the past couple years.
Yes, and if we want to push it back,
we're going to be
the
top
2000s,
dogs.
The 90s.
We're going to be top dogs again.
We're going to be top dogs again. We're going to win our 17th national title combined with the girls,
we're going to be like the Lakers.
Basically like the Lakers, yeah. And the Celtics, too.
Well, not the Celtics. I don't like the Celtics.
I love the Celtics, so we're going to say the Lakers and the Celtics.
Sure.
I think UConn's going to be put to that level. We may not be good at football or anything else.
Well, we're good at basketball.
Good at basketball. And then kind of moving, but that's our prediction for the men's. But obviously next week we'll get into what actually happened because we have the finals on Monday, I believe. So that's in 2 days. But then for the women's bracket, we had 2 Final Four games yesterday. Yeah. And for the first Final Four game, it was number 1 South Carolina, the undefeated team this year.
Yeah, versus NC State.
And NC State was actually in the men's and women's finals.
I mean, imagine if NC State made the finals, made the finals for both men's and women's.
And they both won. That would be the first time.
Insane.
That would be the first time since 2014 when UConn did it with the men's and women's.
I think NC State would just go absolutely crazy. Everybody in North Carolina would just go crazy if they won both.
But unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they lost by 20.
It was a battle of the Carolinas, but South Carolina prevailed. They came through.
The only time South Carolina will ever be better than North.
Exactly. Yes.
North is just better.
Sure. I don't really have strong opinions on that, but I'll take your side.
Yeah, but North Carolina has the Outer Banks.
Sure. But South Carolina did win.
Yeah,
South Carolina did win. And they're an undefeated team, and we're going to see them match up against Iowa with Caitlin Clark.
I think Caitlin Clark is phenomenal and can
a great player. But so is Paige Beckers.
Yeah.
So is Paige Beckers.
I mean,
they had a phenomenal game against number 3 seeded UConn last night. In a very, very close
very tight game by 2 points.
Yes. Final score was 71-69, and I watched the last 5 minutes of this game when I got back home. This was I don't want to say that UConn. I think UConn jeopardized themselves. I think they kind of robbed themselves. There were a couple controversial calls. I think it was Aaliyah Edwards who had a moving screen violation or something, where she had an offensive foul where UConn was down 2 points at the end and there was 9 seconds left and they were trying to drop a play. I think that was a little bit of an over-exaggerated call, and that basically cost UConn the game. But I also think there wasn't the best timeout call by Paige Beckers, because then they had to go from the full court to get those last 2 points. But it's complicated. It's over. Caitlin Clark prevailed. I think they snuck in. It was a very tight game.
I think they did too.
They kind of did sneak in the finals, but we have the 1-seeded Iowa team led by Caitlin Clark and the undefeated South Carolina 1 seed in the finals.
I mean, who do you think is going to win?
My heart is saying Iowa, but my brain is saying South Carolina. South Carolina has been the most dominant team in women's college basketball since 2019. I mean,
the heart speaks for yourself, but the brain speaks for
my heart speaks for Caitlin Clark, but my brain speaks for South Carolina.
Caitlin Clark and Iowa are going to win the women's championship this year.
South Carolina
100%
has lost, I think, a total of, it's either 3 or 5 games in the past 4 years.
Yeah, no, but
that is unheard of.
No, but someone turned that into an edit of me when they win.
Sure. You can.
I will.
This South Carolina dominance that we've been seeing in the past 4 to 5 years is literally parallel to the UConn dominance when they went undefeated for years upon years in the 2000s and the 2010s when they had their little streak of winning back to back to back to back. But South Carolina is fresh off a couple national championships, not last year because we did have LSU last year and that controversial win over Iowa. but we'll see what happens.
I think anything could happen.
Anything can happen. This is I think it's going to be a closer game than the men's finals.
Yeah, definitely. The men's finals, I think they're going to be close, but I think the women's finals are going to be closer. Honestly, they could be. I think the women's finals could be more entertaining.
Honestly, I'm going to say right now, the women's finals. By the way, the UConn versus Iowa game last night drew in 15.6 million viewers.
That's crazy.
That is more than any highest regular season game.
Is that more than the NBA finals
that is more,
last year?
That's more than the NBA finals last year. We had like 4 or 5 million viewers.
Nobody watched the NBA finals.
Nobody watched it. Well,
they were pretty bad.
Yeah, because
the Heat was like the 10 or the 8 seed or something.
The Heat and the Nuggets.
Yeah,
nobody really cares about those teams.
The Heat were like the 8 seed.
Yeah.
It was really obvious who was going to win. But for these NCAA finals, anything could happen for both sides.
Anything can happen. And we really do think that it's... I'm going to go out and say it. I'm going to say that the women's national championship game is going to have more viewers than the men's.
I think it's going to be more entertaining.
I think it has more star power.
Yeah, it does. Because of how talented Caitlin Clark is with her shooting, but the dominance of South Carolina.
I don't know if anybody's forgotten, but she's the all-time college basketball leading scorer.
Yeah,
of all time.
Beating Pete Maravich.
Men's and women's. That is completely unheard of. I'd say let her roam free. Shoot whatever she wants to shoot.
I think she's going to win.
Do whatever you want. But yeah, honestly, we have a definitive answer for the men's. We think UConn's going to win. But
we don't have a decided answer for the women's.
Yeah.
Well, don't.
I don't. I do. I'm sure you want Iowa to win.
Yeah, I do.
And
it's her hero story.
I'm going to be rooting for Iowa.
Story.
Yeah. They haven't won a championship yet. It's her senior year.
It's her senior year.
She'll be declared for the draft.
Number one. I really hope she wins. It's her hero story.
Yeah, and she's been, in her freshman sophomore year, they went to the Elite Eight and then the Final Four and then lost in the championship last year to LSU. But now they beat LSU. They're on their revenge tour. And I'd love to see them win another national championship, but I don't know if they can defeat the undefeated South Carolina.
It's like Steph Curry's NBA story.
Basically, the same kind of player.
Yeah,
too.
They are the same player.
Yeah. But we'll get into that in a week. We'll make sure to keep posting episodes. We'll get the last bits of the college basketball season, and then we'll get into the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get best time of the year. Most exciting, most important part of the NBA season.
The most important 2 months of the NBA season is May and June.
Yeah.
Yep. But we'll get into that. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at 2 Guys 1 Court. Make sure to check out our shirts. And make sure if you want to get a shirt, you can get it in any color you want. Just DM us what you want, and then we'll respond to you. We'll get it to you in a week or less. Yeah. And we hold that to ourselves. And it could be easily done, and it's a great shirt, great quality, 100% cotton, only $25.
And the hats.
Best on the market.
Coming out soon.
Hat is coming out soon. We will tell you when. But that's basically it. And another thank you to our sponsor, product.co, for all your social media marketing needs. Make sure to check them out on Instagram. But I hope you enjoyed the episode.